Honestly, guys, this card, it could just fall away. It was kind of ass, no draws today. The main event was perfect, though. Charles beat him till he was Holloway. Yeah, baby, yeah. He beat him till he was Holloway, like his head. He beat him till his head was Holloway. She by Holloway. Guys, let me just say this. One of my worst prediction cards ever. But guess what? After today, I'm officially the best main event predictor on YouTube percentage-wise. Thank you so much. It was me and Bedtime even, but I finally separated myself from him after this card. And it feels good. Like, listen, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend all my footage just on the main event and not really care too much about every other fight. But I think a lot of people were sleeping on Charles in this fight. Now, the thing about me, like, I do go a little bit over and beyond on the main events. Like, I watch a lot of things. I knew that the fight was going to be won in the clinch. I just felt like Charles was going to be able to kind of muscle Max Holloway in these clinch situations. And I actually told it to Bedtime. Like, I told it to Bedtime when we were debating.
Yeah.
But what is Max going to do? Because he's going to get taken down. I don't care. Like, against the clinch, that's Charles' whole game plan. And I know Max loves to circle and, like, back up. That's playing into Charles' game. The second your back hits the fence and you're like, oh, shit, Charles is going to just throw some dumb shit and just to get close. He doesn't even care about, oh, let me just throw this hook. Sometimes they land and they're heavy. I feel like once he gets there and gets a hold of him, I don't know how great. I know his defense is all right, but the way he kind of strength mugged Garbrandt, I can see him doing it to someone like Max who's never grappled against anyone as big as Charles, especially at 155.
Dude, I need to debate Bedtime more often, guys. Every time I debate Bedtime on like a big fight card, JDM Islam, I told him, yeah, Islam's going to outstrike him on the feet and then he's going to beat him on the ground. I told him that Charles Oliveira is going to have moments just creating chaos and then going for the clinch. Like, every time I debate him, I end up just being right. I got to debate Bedtime more often, But yeah, guys, this fight has a lot of criticism. Like, it's weird because these guys were nowhere to be found when I remember Charles beat Chandler. That Chandler fight was a bit more boring than this one, but he beat Chandler in the same way. And I remember I was angry about it. I was pissed because for some reason I thought Chandler was going to win that because I'm delusional. And then I remember that, like, everyone's like, nah, dude, you're coping. It's MMA. But now that this happened to their boy Max, they're like, oh, man, BMF. I think this fight was great. I think Charles Oliveira won on the feet. What you guys matter that he landed the bigger shots on the feet, and then he won on the ground. The thing about the striking, I did say that Max should have the big advantage, but I said that Max's striking con. I make my pros and cons videos. You guys have to watch it. If you guys, there's a reason I'm the best predictor on YouTube on the main events, because I watch film with the main events. I don't watch that much footage for any other fight because the main events are the most important to me. I knew his striking cons was like he kind of jumps back and like he doesn't deal with pressure well. So he's like jumping back and like he doesn't deal with pressure well. He kind of covers up. And I knew that Charles has kind of a chaotic striking style. I actually listed that as one of Charles' cons. I feel like his striking style was just very chaotic and he has like slick elbows and good hooks when he's pressuring you and good straights on the pipe. And then he goes from that into his clinching exchanges. And I knew that, which is why I ended up going Charles Oliveira, because I remember I was conflicted with this fight. The first time it was announced, I remember thinking Max is going to win. And then after watching back the Garbrandt fight, I'm like, you know what? He's going to win, dude. Like, the way he muscled Garbrandt to the ground, I look at someone like Max with his frame of body. I just don't see him stuffing the takedowns, and that's exactly what happened. Charles needs to work on his take. Guys, he was strength mocked badly. I also think Charles is just abnormally strong because he's able to do it against someone like Garbrandt, which is ultimately why I ended up picking him, because I just didn't see someone like Max has not win against someone as good as modern day Charles in the grappling. He just hasn't, and I knew that. Like, even Ilya was able to take him down, but Ilya's not a grappler who could hold and control people. I knew Charles was problematic, man, and Charles kind of just beat him everywhere, and people can't really cope because, if it was on the feet, it would have been different, because, like, although Max on paper is the better striker, Charles had the better moments on the feet, and it's tough for people to cope on that. First of all, Paramount sucks. Dude, I had a black screen in the middle of it. I come back thinking someone's going to be knocked out. It's just Charles back in a secure position. That pissed me off. But so I missed, like, there's a time that Charles like landed like a little knee to the head, almost like a head kick knee. He just lands big hooks. Even the last 10 seconds, everyone wanted it. Like, Charles hits him on the exit of a clinch and then rocks him again with the right. Like, it was just a bad day for Max Holloway. When it rains, it pours, and it was raining for Max. It's just a tough spot to put Max in. Like, he's a primary striker, and he went against someone who's like just a way better grab. Like Charles just looked like a mismatch. It's like, who booked this fight? It's like one of those. It's almost like one of those who booked this fight moments. That's how I kind of viewed this fight, man. Just a tough ask for Max. Like, Max could have stuck and moved the whole fight, but I did feel like the pressure of Charles would be overwhelming. And Charles, thank God he did pressure. If Charles was tentative and on the back foot, Max would have had a field day. But I'm so glad that I picked up on that con of like Max jumping back and being hesitant and like circling too much like, to the fence, because that's ultimately what he did the entire fight, which is why Charles was able to just cause chaos into the clinch. And then from there, just muscle him, dude. Like, it was just a masterclass on Charles. I thought there was like maybe two, 3 10-8s. Maybe one 10-8 for, I thought the second round was a 10-8, but no, all three judges got a 50-45 for Charles. So every round was 10-9 apparently. But yeah, Max just didn't really do much at all. Like, his biggest moment, even in the last 10 seconds, people think Max landed something. No, he like threw a punch that landed on the shoulder of Charles, and like Charles like went to the right a little bit, you know. So this is just one of those fights where it was just a masterclass for Charles, you know, and just main event Kenny showing up again. You know, this is my life, brother. I have to do this all my life. I'm gonna continue being the best main event picker all the year, like I said I would. And this is really my goal of this card. This whole card I really did bad, and it sucks to say this card was kind of shitty, guys, because. Like, of course, this main card, like the main event specifically, I was happy because I got the right pick right. But I'm not going to lie, like, I thought it was a good performance, like, great performance, polished performance by Charles. I'm a little bit confused on, like, when people are mad at Charles. Here's my thing. You guys who pick Max, I actually have a question for you guys. Like, I literally questioned my chat this. Why did you think, like, how did you think Charles was going to fight? Like, like, people who pick Max, like, why are you mad at Charles for performing? Like, I don't know what you thought Charles was going to do. Like, people are mad at Charles for grappling. Did you expect him not to grapple and like not to try to go for submissions and not try to ground upon him? Because that's everything he did. I understand you're frustrated at that, but like, why are you mad at Charles for that? Why didn't you pick Charles if you thought he was going to grapple? Like, I think the truth of the matter is you just thought Max Holloway's takedown defense was a little bit better, you know, but it wasn't. And now you're mad at Charles because Max takedown defense was abysmal. If like, I don't know, like even every takedown, at first it wasn't just a body lock, because at one time he forced a scramble, had a single leg, and just kind of flicked him on the ground like a pebble. like a pebble. He took Jerome by the single leg and fucking got him on the ground. Shiva, brother. Ay, caramba. I couldn't believe how easy he was taking down Max. I could believe on the clinch, like when he muscled him, but there was a single leg that threw me off. Like, how do you get taken out by that single leg? This guy just doesn't want to fight, eh? Yeah, man, like it was one of those fights where like you like, I feel like in hindsight everyone's like, oh, I could see now, I know why Kenny picked him or something like that. But it's like one of those fights people need to see so they can understand some things. But like Max Holloway, people glaze him a lot, man. They do, and I do think that him being the favorite actually was warranted, because like if he did keep it standing for 25 minutes, I'm sure he could win. It's just that like this is not boxing, this is MMA, man. Charles Oliveira has only lost to like well-rounded people. You can't just be able to wrestle or you're gonna lose. You're gonna end up like Garbrandt. You can't just be a good striker. You're going to lose because you're going to end up like Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. To beat Charles has shown that you need to be like Armin Sarukian, someone who can strike and wrestle really well. Someone like Islam, someone who can strike and wrestle really well. Someone like Ilya, someone who can strike really well and wrestle pretty moderately, like decently. You know, if you're not like that, forget it. Like, and Max Holloway wasn't like that. So I knew one of Max Holloway's biggest grappling cons, I said in my video, was that like he just hasn't won against someone like on Charles' caliber in grappling. Like, imagine he went against Armin. Like, Max Holloway, I respect this guy, but he's never touching a belt at 155. I feel bad. He's a good guy, you know, but Charles really showed level, brother. Hawaii don't have wrestling. But I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to say too much. Like, I'm not going to say it was an obvious pick, because I was a little bit like, this is going to be a hard fight for Charles. And it just wasn't a hard fight. You know, it just wasn't. And I did think Max would, like, stuff takedowns better, I suppose, like in the open. But I kind of did figure when it got to the fence and the clinch, it was going to be a problem. But I didn't expect Charles to get to the clinch that easy. But every single time Charles got to the clinch, I knew it was going to be a takedown, because I said in my videos, the clinch is where the fight's going to be won. I kept saying that's where the fight's going to be on. And Charles kept getting him to the clinch. So congrats to Charles for being smart, and well done to him. Moving on from this. This fight, I picked RDR. Because I picked RDR because I said Borralho wasn't going to be active. He's not going to really let his hands go. I'll be real, chat. Of course, RDR outstruck him 111-71. I thought RDR won rounds 2 and 3. Nah, 3 was a 50-50. At least, like, it was obvious that the rider won rounds 2. All 3 judges gave it 30-27, which let me know one thing: no matter what would have happened, if all rounds looked like round 2 where Dorado was like just landing stuff better and like muscling him, Borralho would have won regardless, which is crazy. But I do think my opinion on Borralho didn't change. The reason I picked against Borralho is because I thought he was a little bit low output. He's trying to be too pretty, and I thought he was a little bit complacent at times against the fence. I guess he showed like sometimes urgency, but not really. He kind of was tired, kind of standing in front of the rider. Honestly, it was definitely. I do understand a 1-1 scorecard going into round three. Round three was just kind of like the right, like Borralho taking him down, controlling him, doing nothing, didn't land a single punch. They got up, then the rider was just kept jabbing his head off and like landing the big shots. But I think one thing that the judges are like starting to judge very strictly is like body language, like not even just like what's landing, body language. And I don't like judges don't have access to replays, so the fact that they didn't give Dorado the second round, which is clear as day a second round that he won, was because Dorado was slipping at times. Like Borralho would hit his shoulder and Dorado would like go flying. I'm like, dude, keep your footing. Like judges not having access to the replay booth, I think it needs to change because I just think it's stupid that this guy actually was rewarded round two when he clearly lost round two. But like, yeah, my opinion on Borralho didn't change. My opinion on Dorado didn't change. He kind of fought how I figured he'd fight, sloppy. I thought he was going to shoot early in the first round. First round was surprisingly close. Dude, this was 30-27, kind of blows my mind. But you're going to find out a habit about this card. Like a lot of the picks I picked, I don't even think the guys actually lost clearly. I think it was a little bit suspect. But yeah, congrats to Borralho. He's not that good. He's never going to be champion, kind of like everything I said. Rosas Jr. Font, I got this fight right. A little bit lackluster. Rosa just kind of controlled him, muscle maxed him. I knew Rob Font wasn't going to be able to stuff takedowns, which is why I said it wouldn't make any logical sense to pick him. His takedown defense has never really been good. It's been looking like it's getting worse, matter of fact. Rosa Jr. kind of just takes him down, strength mogs him. Strong for a 21-year-old, you know. He's only going to get stronger. So if he's already like muscle maxing these people with grown man strength, when he gets older, I think he's going to put on muscle well and he's going to get better. But he had 16 takedowns in this fight. Shibale. 16. Handsome, strong guy. But he look kind of handsome right now. He's not ugly guy. I respect this guy. But yeah, Rosas Jr. just mauled Rob Font. Easy pickings. This fight here. Now, I'm so disappointed I didn't pull out. I had a parlay and I should have pulled out. The betting line changed too much. Johnson cheat, dude. I don't know what happened, but like I think Johnson just got caught. He tried to be a go-getter and got. I did pick Johnson because I just figured he was going to be way more skillful. And that's kind of what the fight was. Like in the first round, he's low kicking 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Just way faster than him, skill mogging him. But then he got caught in round two, and it is what it is. This was planned. I can't explain why it was planned. It was planned. The odds shifted too much. It was planned, man. I'm telling you, you know. But this racially motivated Dober thing's real, dude. I can't, man. Because I really thought Johnson was just going to speed mog him, you know, and just kind of shit on. He was doing that for the first round, but then he was like, all right. Time for the knockout we rehearsed. That's why the betting odds shifted. I'm going to cope a little bit. If I didn't get this main event right, holy shit. I would have been very sad today. But yeah, great punch by Dober. Dober's a good guy. He gets a knockout. Cool. This is definitely my most confident pick on the card. I did tell you guys that there's no way RoboCop loses. RoboCop's first shot that landed killed him. The reverse clean shot that landed nearly killed this guy. RoboCop was like low out. RoboCop actually looked so much more tentative and nervous than he usually looks. I was backing up, giving Bruno Ferreira too much respect, but then he ducks down, lands it straight, just lands on him, kills him, nukes him, and then Bruno Ferreira just goes out cold badly. This was like the main card started pretty good, honestly. RoboCop and Dober getting the first two knockouts to kick off the main card. But yeah, RoboCop just slept Bruno Ferreira. This is a very easy pick for me because like the first fight, the knockout was so fluky. RoboCop could have finished him even quicker, honestly. He was just a little bit shy and nervous because he got knocked out the first fight. But RoboCop, this is probably the easiest pick for me personally on the whole card, including the main event. This one I wasn't really too nervous going into it because I kind of already knew the result before it happened. All right, now this fight was hilarious. I picked Zhao Long, and of course I had a good pick, but like it just all went to shit. Like, of course, I picked the guy who's better, who definitely won. Zhao won the first two rounds. I thought he won every single round, to be honest, but he was only given the first two rounds, and Cody Garbrandt was given the third round, but Cody Garbrandt won because the third round was 2 consecutive point deductions. Now, I got to say, Herb Dean's an idiot because the second nut shot, I literally watched Zhao Nong use his hand to cover the cup and knee him to the body. I'm not even going to talk too much about this, but Herb Dean just didn't look at the replay, so he didn't know that, and he took another point. Now, here's the problem with this. Cody Garbrandt, yes, he was vomiting at the first one. Cody Garbrandt took a vet move. He was down 2-0. I'm not saying the vomiting was fake. I believe he was able to vomit because, like, he felt something. But he milked it. After he vomited, he stood up. He's ready to go. He's so ready to fight. He comes at him, guns a-blazing. He's trying to fight. Oh, and then, like, he gets knee to the stomach, and he fakes the nut shot. And then, like, he's like, oh, my God, he hit me again. Oh, my God. And then he stopped the fight. Cody Garbrandt knew he was going to lose. Like, I got this pick right because, like, of course, the guy who won the most rounds is to my right. It was Zhao Long. I did expect him to win. He did win. But, yeah, he won 2 rounds, but it wasn't enough to get the win. Unfortunately, if winning 2 rounds out of 3 is not enough, This could be coping, but it's just like it's just stupid. Like the guy who like Cody Garbrandt's first win in a minute is just like this, and I just don't know what to say. Just a stupid fight, dude. Just a really dumb fight where someone didn't win, but they got awarded the win because Herb Dean, dude, and like Herb Dean just wasn't consistent. It's just like, dude, well done, Cody Garbrandt, played it up, Oscar. All right, this one, this is supposed to be my underdog pick of the night. I told you guys, even though he's fucking plus 800, I think Brundage is gonna win. I watched him on Dante Johnson. He sucks at wrestling. Everything I said kind of came true. I actually thought Brundage won rounds 1 and 3. But they gave it to Dante Johnson because, it's split. But the thing is, when it's split and it's an undefeated fighter and someone with like a 50-50 record, they're not going to give it to the guy with a 50-50 record. I kind of expected that, but I did think Brundage won. This is like, I know it was a risky pick. Like, this guy's like a minus 1,000 favorite. Why are you picking against him? Because this is actually one of the few fights I actually watched footage for the prelims, and I just saw Dante Johnson get controlled by Sadiq Dumas, and I just wasn't comfortable putting him when he's such a big favorite, so I went Brundage. I think Brundage did everything I thought he'd do, but he just fatigued after the first 2 minutes, so he made it harder for himself. He did win the third round, but just body language is big. The judges don't like bad body language. I've started to notice that. Because even though he won the third round pretty blatantly, in my opinion, he would just like lazy takedowns at the very end and just look scared and just sloppy. So judges don't like that. Dante Johnson definitely lost, but I got this pick wrong because Cody Garbrandt's didn't get the victory given to him. It's like the only prelim fight I swear I got right. Alberto Montez just goes near schools this guy. Had the better striking. And that anaconda or dart stroke, whatever he has, he knows how to cinch it in pretty well. This guy's pretty good. I'm keeping my eye on him. I don't think he's crazy, but like he deal with the pressure, the unorthodox weird pressure of tercios, and like he showed that darts once he gets it locked in. Mama. So that's really what it was. Shout out Alberto Montez for schooling Ricky Tercios. I also went to underdog here, Cody Durden. This is another fight that honestly I felt like Durden just didn't want to win bad enough. I know Durden's a risky underdog pick, but I just looked at this guy. I didn't think he was that good. But Durden would just force grappling and get out grappled. I think this guy rightfully won though. Durden just sucks. I don't really want to talk about that fight. Who gives a shit? This fight I went Aguilar. This was just a stupid pick by me. He was an underdog. But from the footage I saw, Sumu is like a really aggressive, just Chinese fighter who's going to come and swing. And Aguilar has really good power and can mix in the grappling pretty well. But Sumu just had a whole different approach than what I've seen. He was just not rushing in and taking his time and picking it from a distance. Whereas Jesus Aguilar was just throwing out of range like a fucking small... I was going to call him a taco. I'm moving on. Brother, nothing wrong with me calling taco. Tobias versus Daihara. I actually got this fight wrong as well. Because I believe I went Tobias, yes. Because Daihara looked so bad his last fight. Daihara looked good in the first round. Then he looked shit in the second and third. Stupid fight. Don't care about it. Yeah, this is just embarrassing. I actually watched this at the very end, like right before the knockout happened. And I watched Luke Fernandez get slept. Just shitty card for me. I got like every fucking thing wrong. Except for the main event. So, listen. Damn, bring me back down to this shitty. I don't want to see that shit. Yeah, guys, overall decent. Horrible card overall. I think the card was shit. Not just my picks, but just like everything else. But main event Kenny still strikes, and this is all that matters. Main event Kenny. As long as I'm still pushing, nothing else matters. But let me know what you guys think about this shitty card. That's it for me. God bless. 2, 3, 4.